In our previous lesson, we looked at how we can use server-side error handling and construct a custom error page for our app. But since the error handling that we're doing here is mostly related to bad routes, we have a better way of doing it. We can use route validation. We'll use the define page meta compiler macro, and we'll add in this validate function. This function is a shorthand for creating specific route middleware. You can return a Boolean or an error, and depending on what you return, will either render the route or reject it. We take a look at the route parameters and use that to determine if we're able to actually find the chapter. If we're not able to find this chapter, then we return an error saying that the chapter is not found. This is very similar to what we did in the last lesson, but in this case, we're not waiting until we render the component out. We're doing this beforehand to make sure that we can actually render the page properly. One thing to keep in mind is that because this define page meta is a compiler macro, it's not a regular function. So we're not able to access the course variable that's in this outer scope here. So we have to get it again from this use course composable. As well, we need to return a Boolean. So if you forget to return true here, the page will not render. So let's add in the validation for the lesson as well. Now that we have this validation over here, we can remove the other error handling. And if we go to a route that doesn't work properly, we get the error message that we would expect. It works exactly like it did before, but we've refactored it into a way that makes a little more sense and is a bit more readable. One thing to keep in mind when using this validate function is that it's a specific form of middleware. What's actually happening is this runs a route middleware before this page is executed to determine if we can actually do that. And so if you put in this validate function, you will not be able to run other middleware on this page. However, that's fine for us right now because we don't have any other middleware. But it's just something to keep in mind.